Hey world, it's Janae. Welcome back to Faith Forward. Look at me, Faith Forward Fearlessly podcast. Tongue twisters going on. Anyhow, thank you so much for joining my podcast yet again. I'm back. So today we're actually going to, let me kind of move this out the way. You know what? I first wanted to show you guys my shirt. I don't know if you can read it, but it says, admit it. Life would be boring without me. Just wanted to show y'all that. I thought it was a cute shirt. Anyhow, thank you for joining my podcast today, Faith Forward Fearlessly. So today we're going to be talking about integrity and authenticity, as well as building a business with values. Very important, right? So we're going to get right into the juicy information. So in today's dynamic business, just the whole landscape of it all, and just the consumers are increasingly drawn to companies, and to exhibit integrity and authenticity is very important. Building a business with values is just a trendy concept. It's a strategic, impressive type of situation that actually fosters trust, loyalty, and just long-term success. Would you agree with that? So here are some essential tips and examples to guide you with cultivating integrity and authenticity within your life and your businesses. So number one is defining your core values. And tip number one is start with clarity. Defining your core company's values, these principles should serve as the foundation for decision making and shaping the actual culture. Guiding the actions within an organization, within your business. An example of that is Zappos. Not sure how many people have heard of Zappos, but I have. So it's re-owned for its, it's renowned for its commitment to delivering exceptional customer service. And this commitment is a core value embedded within Zappos. It's in its DNA and the company culture and its value altogether. So creating a culture where employees are empowered to actually go above and beyond really assists, and it helps its actual customers. It satisfies its customers. So that's the core values part. Number two, prioritize transparency. That's the first and very important to prioritize. The tip for that is transparency is key to building trust with your customers, your employees, and your stakeholders, and just people who don't know you, Communicate openly about your business practices, your challenges, your successes. Authenticity thrives in an environment where the information flows freely. So taking on those things and remembering those things will help you drastically. An example of that is butter. My apologies. Buffer. So if you've heard of the company Buffer, it's a social media management platform, Buffer. And some people already use it. Some people don't. Something that you could look into, possibly for your business or just being an entrepreneur. But Buffer is a social media management platform, as I just stated, and it pretty much practices radical transparency with sharing detailed financial information. Who doesn't need that within their business, right? So employee salaries, they actually share that information about their employee salaries. Most companies don't do that. And just their company metrics, they actually share all this information with the public, you know? This level of openness for them fosters that trust and that transparency. So just things to think about within your own journey and venture and business and things like that. Number 3, what you want to do is align actions with values. Very important. A tip for that is ensure that every business decision, big or small, aligns with your core values. And be consistent with, aligning those things, because it reinforces the actual commitment of things. And it also helps with your integrity when you're, staying committed and things. So create a genuine and trustworthy brand. That is very important. I can tell you with one of my businesses, my cake business, take that. There are many people they love it. So it's a great, it's called Rosemary's Heavenly Pound Cakes, by the way, made by Janae. And people love it because of the taste and things like that. And just the buttery taste for the lemon. There's the chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. But people have come to me like, oh my goodness, Janae, you should just start putting, weed into your cakes, because they would really sell that way, because there's a lot of people who maybe smoke weed, and to each their own, Unfortunately, that's not who I am, or, what I would like to do. So to stay with my true values and just integrity and things like that, I am a believer in it personally. I feel like this is kind of like a political type of thing, but just being real, I can only be me, thank God. So I don't want to put that particular butter in my cakes because I'm not a believer in it, to be honest, unless it's medically needed. I'm all for it with that. There's many people who need it for certain anxiety and just their health and mental health and cancer and lupus and just different things, So I'm a believer with that. But other than that, I just want to stick to the integrity of it all for my cake business. So therefore, I'm not looking to put that particular butter in the cakes. They taste great either way, you guys. So that's just my values, just as an example. Okay, so, but I can give you another example, and it looks like Sam's Bakery, if you guys have heard of that. It's a local business, and Sam's Bakery, let's see here, they value their community as a quality and operations, and they pretty much take actions and values because they use their ingredients locally and they support other farmers. So that's just a value that they have within their company, and that helps with, their overall integrity and just their authenticity about their overall company. So number 4 is my apologies. Ethical sourcing. Ethical sourcing and just the practices of it. That's step number 4 here. And so we want to ensure, for the tip for this is we want to ensure that your business adopts ethical sourcing of materials and embraces that just substantial practices overall. This not only aligns with the growing and the awareness of it, like the environment and things like that, but just social issues. It relates positively with the consumer. And when you're like prioritizing the ethical conduct overall, and they're purchasing decisions, that's very helpful. So it just depends on if you have a product or a service and things like that. But something to think about. An example is Green Grocery. They are a local produce store, and they focus on ethical, sourcing by just partnering with local farmers who follow sustainable farming practices for the most part. So you might have a similar business, something to think about, but they ensure that their fruits and their vegetables are sold and grown without harmful chemicals, so that's a part of their values, right? To make sure these things are taking place. So they support local communities, which is priceless when you're doing that. So Green Grocery, it appeals to customers who value ethical and environmentally friendly choices for the most part. So that commitment not only promotes just a healthier living, but it also establishes just different positive, things for Green Grocery, and it just makes them trustworthy, and for them, it keeps them just responsible for the neighborhood as the neighborhood store. So number 5, engage in corporate social responsibility. CSR. For those of you who have heard of it, that's what it means, CSR. So the tip for that is invest in community initiatives, social causes that align with your values. Engaging in CSRs is not only contributes to positively to the society, but also it reinforces your commitment to making just a meaningful impact beyond profit. So no one wants to be shopping with you or purchase from you if you're all about profit. You know what I mean? So just go back to your values and what it really means that you're there to help others, An example is Tom's Shoes. Those of you who have heard of Tom's Shoes. He has a 1-for-1 model. And what that means is where every pair of shoes that's sold by him, another pair is actually donated to a child in need. So that's part of his company and his values, right? That's a blessing also, by the way. So this commitment of giving back aligns with his company's values, just making it a meaningful impact beyond, again, profit. So that is a blessing that they do that. So number 6, customer feedback and adaptation. So important. A tip for that is actively seek and listen to customer feedback. Use it to adapt and evolve in your business, just your overall business practices. Demonstrating and being, willingness to learn. It improves and it shows your authenticity within your business and yourself. So just having that commitment to just maybe meeting with customers, meeting their expectations, and listening is very helpful within this tip. An example is Tesla. I'm sure many of you, out in the car world have heard of Tesla. And the example is Tesla continuously gathers feedback from its customers and evolves your business practices. My apologies. Let me start over. Tesla continuously gathers feedback from its customers and it implements software. There we go. And it updates and improves the performance of its electric vehicles. So, we got a lot of electric vehicles and stuff going on with Tesla. So this responsive reflects on their commitment to their customer and the satisfaction of their customers. And it just helps with their overall just continuous improvement by having this in place as their values. Number 7, educate and communicate. The tip for that is educate your customers about your values, your overall values, and the impact that they have on your actual business. It's okay to talk to your customers. They're people too, right? They're your number one supporters, as a matter of fact. So just clearly communicate with just that commitment and to keep that integrity through just various channels with your customers, your clients, whatever you may call them, such as like marketing materials. Marketing materials is a helpful tip here. Social media, like I'm on right now, is a helpful tip. And just having that back and forth with your customer one-on-one through even social media, that is a continuous improvement to help with your values for that feedback and adaptation with your customers. So, pretty much those are the tips for today. And by prioritizing transparency, aligning actions with your core values, and embracing ethical business practices that we've just spoken about. If you missed any, you can go back and listen to this. But you can build a business with integrity and authenticity all together. So in an era where like customers value, the purpose-driven brands or just services, just establish a strong ethical foundation for the most part. And you can't go wrong with that. So that'll help you with your customers. It'll help you to foster just that positive reputation. It is very key to have a good reputation. I am so big on integrity. For those of you who already know me, I even teach my kids that. I'm like, integrity is everything. So just keep in mind that when you're having challenges and things like that, or just there's different changes in the market and things, that you stick with what we just spoke about, that integrity and authenticity. Just be you, keep the integrity, and you'll go a long ways in your business for the most part. So those are tips and examples today. Thank you so much once again for joining me, Janae Hudson, with Faith Forward Fearlessly podcast. Have an amazing, productive day on purpose. See you next time.